welcome from the crap part of ESPN's massive studio complex. What? Don't bite my shoulder, Rod. He's been doing that all day. The crap part of ESPN's massive studio complex down here at the crap end of Copacabana Beach, in the crap part of Her Name is Rio. Bobley's Panic Room here again. Embassy Davies at Rog Bennett. Dave O'Rog. Hall Oates. We're here. What an uneventful day of football, Rog.
What are we going to talk about?
Nothing happened today.
I prepared a PowerPoint. We're going to do a tactical analysis of the kind of interesting passing patterns in the Ivory Coast Greek game. So you guys at home are in for a treat.
There are about 3 people who do tweet us complaining that we don't get into enough deep tactical analysis.
Yep, and a lot of you who watch us from Africa are very upset. You want us to talk more about African football. To be honest, as we have been discussing, Giorgio Samaras' last-minute penalty.
Oh, my word.
That was probably the saddest thing to happen to Africa since Toto. One of the most beautiful and awful songs, retrospectively, of my youth. David, what are we going to talk about?
Well, there were 4 games today, Rog.
There were.
I imagine we're not going to talk much about Japan-Colombia.
The Japanese jerseys were my World Cup favourites.
Colombia have won that group significantly. They are going to play Uruguay.
If you say to your team you can only dance when you score a goal, what will they do, David?
Well, they ran out of dances, Rog.
Score goals. They did run out of dances.
They ran out of dances pretty significantly.
I think it's going to be it's going to pressure them for the elimination rounds. Conjure more dances or die.
We have a little bit to talk about with Greece Ivory Coast. Amazing, dramatic, last-minute penalty.
Yep.
Rog. Greece, you don't foul Jesus. You don't foul Jesus and get away with it. Not even if you're from the Ivory Coast.
Yep, he was born again and delivered from the spot. Giorgio Samaras, a player so poor that when he played at Manchester City, the Manchester City fans called him Tragedy. Hey, there's tragedy on the field, tragedy, as in Greek tragedy. But today he delivered. Yeah. Absolutely. And we feel for you, continent of Africa. We feel for you.
That's amazing. And
because we're English, we feel a lot of pain for losers.
Greece played Costa Rica in the last 16, Rog. I mean, nobody saw that matchup.
Can we just say,
coming? Yeah.
Can we just say to our listeners in Costa Rica, you are amazing.
Costa Rican GFOPs.
Your tiny country, CONCACAF Thunder!
Yes, CONCACAF Thunder.
We will talk more about you, but you are just unbelievable, and we adore you, and we admire you, and we look at you from the football troughs as Englishmen. We look at you at the pinnacle of the game.
We
admire
like
you greatly.
Angels singing.
So well done. You've conquered FIFA land. Well done.
So we're going to talk about Costa Rica, England a little later, Rog. Yep. We'll get to that later.
Darkness. We're going to have a constructive conversation because Dave is a very positive man.
Oh, so positive.
We're going to fix England before the end of this show. We're going to fix England. We're going to make Daddy's going to make the pain go away.
We're going to fix it so tight.
Yeah,
we're going to fix England before the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
But Rog, we've got to go straight to Italy, Uruguay.
Nipple on nipple violence.
Before we get into it, I think what we have to say is that we are the last people to suggest that FIFA are in any way behind the scenes influencing the outcome, fixing this World Cup. We're not saying that there are roomfuls of writers in Gestard and Bern and Zurich and Zermatt.
But have you seen George R.R. Martin recently?
Oh, all we're saying is it's bloody good writing.
It's bloody good writing.
It's bloody good writing.
To be fictional. Some of it's not good writing, and we'll get to the not good writing when we talk about Luis Suarez's apology.
Last night we bit into the cupcakes, Ross. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, please.
Last night we bit into the cupcakes for Uruguay versus Italy.
Yeah, by the way, if you compare day by day our predictions based on
science,
the cupcakes, and that phrenologist Nate Silver's predictions based on the fake.
We're basically even. I'm not quite as good as you, Rog, but what I did last night,
Silver and I are even.
The SPI couldn't have done what I did last
Silver
night.
and I even. Can I just say, Silver's number crunching machine, which is about as
his
real.
His best friend.
It's about as real. Yes, some of my best friends on numbers. I think Silver's machine, I think, is about as real as George Michael. God love George Michael.
We've got George Michael back up there.
George Michael, he's back up.
We also found out today that his sports machine, Rog, George Michael's sports machine, there are still some parts of it that still exist at the NBC affiliate.
Lord and Saviour Mike Tirico
found this out.
Couple of emails. He knows people.
He's omniscient. He knows everything, Rog. He's all-powerful.
He has found parts of George Michael's sports machine. we may be rebuilding that sports machine. And even if we do, it's about as real as Nate Silver's number crunching machine.
Well,
we, with our cupcakes, science are equal. Go on.
Yeah, those parts are the holy sacraments of Taricoism. No, but
Let me take you back to last night. Rio, push the button. Ka-chow. You bit into a cupcake.
Previews.
You bit into a cupcake.
I bit into a cupcake, Rog. You bit into the Italian cupcake. What did you taste last night with the Italian cupcake?
I tasted Italo Calvino, and Italo Calvino told me Italy will lose 2-1. We said, arrivederci Italy, but you bit into something more profound. You tasted human bone.
And you can check this. I tasted
human bone.
I tasted Ivanovic's shoulder. Branislav Ivanovic of Chelsea's soldier.
The second person he bit in the trifecta
of Luis Suarez bites. However, I was unable to draw the conclusion, which seems so crazy now, that of course Suarez was going to bite someone today. I felt that this is because of the magic serum, the amazing serum that was in Ivanovic's blood, that your point was that gave him his greatest Premier League season ever. I thought it just meant that Suarez was going to have an incredible game.
And he did. Suarez has bitten someone.
Yeah.
This World Cup now has pretty well everything. Some of you at home are wondering, you didn't see the action today. You've all been at work. America's productivity. America, the nation that works. You're wondering, what happened today, David? They don't know. Can we reenact it? We don't have a action package because this is a fairly threadbare operation. Our sound stage is not the biggest.
I've got Suarez right there.
So let's take one of our small bananas.
Yeah.
Pretend this is. Oh, it's not such a good looking one.
Okay.
Pretend this is. This is Chiellini. Chiellini shoulder. Pretend like Chiellini.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, you meant to take a bite of the banana, David.
Oh, I was. I went in with Suarez. Well, he's got banana all over him.
He's got banana all over him.
Yeah.
And then he somehow, the greatest part of this, as it always is with a Suarez bite, because America's done this 3 times. Many of you beautiful Americans have tweeted us today. I am such a soccer fan. I've seen 2 out of Suarez's 3 bites live, which is a truly amazing.
Which is amazing.
But you,
against Ajax.
One of them,
against Chelsea in the Premier League.
Ivanovic had it coming.
And now against Chiellini. You've got to be quite brave to get him.
The thing I love about Suarez bites, because I've seen 3 of them now, is how when he does the offence, and he does it, he quickly tries to mask the offence by throwing himself on the floor.
Clutching his own face with some kind of injury. Against Ivanovic, I think it was his knee or something. It wasn't even his face.
He's honest, but here suddenly he's like writhing in pain. The biter becomes the biting.
Do you have any doubt in your mind that he did this?
Well, I've seen Interview with a Vampire several times. Didn't really enjoy the movie. Didn't really understand it. But there's a line. I like to do it. I enjoy it. This is Lestat.
Yeah.
Take your aesthetes, taste pure a thing, kill them swiftly if you will, but do it, for not doubt you are a killer. Lewis, the character Lewis in Interview with a Vampire. Luis Suarez. Of course he did it, David.
See, we've talked about the delegates in my head before, Roger. 100 delegates who vote on every decision. Everything I think, I go to the delegates and I see where the 100 delegates in my head. And even on things that I'm fairly positive about, they're usually never usually higher than 91-9 or 92-8. Most things in my life are like 57, 43, Roger.
Yeah. This
is one of very few times in my life where it's 100-0. Well, maybe there's an abstention from the Uruguayan delegate, but there is no doubt in my mind that he did this. And yet, Suarez seems to be able to deny that he did this, Rog.
Well, there is an
Do you hold in your hand his statement?
I do hold in my hand his statement.
Okay.
It's an amazing statement.
Yeah.
These things happen, says Luis Suarez.
That's right, especially to Luis Suarez.
These are just things that happen out on the pitch. It was just the 2 of us inside the area, and read that in your English voice, far better delivery than me.
It was just the 2 of us inside the area, and he bumped into me with his shoulder. Luis Suarez clearly forgetting that there are cameras in the ground, many of them 4K super slow-mo.
This is a grown-up man who has fully no aware that the whole world is watching this.
And that's how my eye got like this as well. He told Channel 10 television, pointing to his eye. These are things that happen on the pitch, and you should not make such a big deal out of them. FIFA has said, is it investigating the alleged bite? Suarez has twice been banned in the past for biting
Now,
opponents.
I like Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
Yeah, you do. You always have done.
Magic realism.
You do.
Love it. In the face.
Yeah, magical realism. Love
That is
it.
bad magic realism.
Yeah.
Very, very bad magic realism. And you have to think, this is a footballer
Yeah.
whose name, skill-wise, tactically, in terms of his impact on the game. And England, you saw this against England. This is a man who can, in minutes, destroy other teams single-handedly, turn games on their head. Step back even further. This is a man whose career has been embroiled with a pockmarked by racist incidents, pockmarked by the handball on the line in 2010.
Intentional handball on the line.
Horrible, kind of over the line
against Ghana. Sportsmanship.
And then,
Fair
of course,
play.
now through two previous biting incidents. Yet, after testing his club, Liverpool, to the limits.
Yeah.
To the limits with the racism followed by the biting.
Yeah.
And then a long, humiliating ban. He came back this season and has had a season where he's kind of wiped off the patina of racism that he'd put in the rearview mirror.
Almost zero controversy around him this past season.
Ecstatic, euphoric, competitive, breathtaking bravado. Just goals of every single kind. And had taken himself slowly to the ether. There's players like Messi up here and Ronaldo up here.
He was getting up there.
He was inching up, and the world didn't want him to inch up because this is a bad man. But every goal he scored relentlessly, kept erasing.
Coming off his best season ever and his best World Cup game ever, Rog.
He's done this media tour where he spoke to a journalist in every single country and told the same story. I'm so competitive. My wife, she doesn't recognise me on the field. Off it, I just love to play Monopoly.
He loves Monopoly.
But on
Saw
the
that
field,
in being Liverpool.
I don't recognise myself. I'll do anything I can to win. And the question is, Davo, when you have just come off this season, which was, I mean, it was scintillating.
Yeah.
And you have just come off, as you've said, your best game ever, where he was lifted up by his other teammates. It was like a beautiful panning shot in a Vita or something. Yep. Amazing. Why then do you take it all and just smash it all
because
down?
Because he can't help himself. Because how he became successful was by not curbing his own natural inclination and talent on a football field. He is a viciously competitive human being. It's why he's so good. It's why he wins. It's why he finds a way to win. It's why he finds a way to score. It's how he finds a way to express himself as a footballer. But it also is that vicious competitive side. Rog, you have children. I have children. Many of you remember when you were children. There is always a biter in every classroom. There is always a biter. Luis Suarez was a biter as a young boy. He has remained a biter. Nobody ever stopped him from biting. His natural inclination in the thick of battle, in the heat of action, is to bite. And the question is, because there isn't a doubt in my mind, poor Chiellini actually showing the bite marks to the ref. Gaston Ramirez, as quickly as possible, trying to cover that up.
A little cover.
We don't want evidence.
And one of the things, by the way, I'll insert there, we couldn't believe watching it, was that Italy, who are masters of the dark arts, masters of running out the clock, furbo, gamesmanship, I couldn't believe Chiellini did just pull up his sleeve and the Italians just went back and started to play football.
We thought they should have walked off the field.
Or just literally made such a song and dance out of it that it became embarrassing to the Uruguayans.
I really think they should have walked off the field. I really believe.
They just got on and played, and I found that fascinating that they got on and played. No one did anything to Suarez. It was shocking. Literally, they could have treated. The referee knew he'd made a mistake. They get it in the earpiece. Italy could have done anything to Suarez, and it would have been play on. That nobody did anything. There was nothing after it. It was a very odd symbol of, especially after they'd leaked the goal, of Italy's kind of mournfulness as they plodded through this World Cup under that wonderful man who I love so much, Cesare Prandelli. You were about to ask a question,
resigned
David.
after the game.
Yeah, I love him.
Did the honourable thing.
Poor guy's going to end up something like Tottenham manager or something within 6 months for his
Did the honourable thing. But what are FIFA going to do about this now, Rog? This is the question. What in FIFA land, where there is no
FIFA land
statute, freedom, friendship, Christ the Redeemer, the people love him, Sepp Blatter. I mean, in FIFA land, no precedent, no statute.
We must weigh up the right thing to do.
Yes.
Ethics, morality,
truth,
goodness, truth, and on the other hand, ratings.
Yes, ratings.
Ratings.
And which equals revenue.
Yeah, good point.
Ratings and revenue tend to win because everyone, even the soccer haters in America, they want a Luis Suarez game. They want another Luis Suarez game. Everyone loves violence.
Everyone loves the carny.
Yeah.
We cannot wait.
Talking of, Paul Carr blows your mind, said Paul Carr blows your mind. Paul Carr blows your mind, said Paul Carr blows your mind. Okay, Paul Carr,
Tough
blow our
call,
mind.
You've got to blow our mind, Paul, after our minds. To be quite honest, by Luis Suarez in a human dimension.
Nothing could blow our mind more, unless you have some biting statistics.
Yeah.
Unless you have some in-depth biting statistics, you've got to duck a little bit, Paul Carr.
Got a couple.
There
Get down to our size.
Okay.
Come on, be a little bit
Who does
more
Paul
Matthew
Carr look
Valdman.
like today?
I can tell you, Paul Carr, according to @86 Man United, Paul Carr looks like the eccentric, barefooted Dave the Cook from Northern Exposure. We are going arcane and deep.
Whoa,
Paul Carr,
that's
you are
interesting.
triggering childhood
Is
memories.
that Adam Arkin?
No, that's not. We get so much. We get more Adam Arkin than anything else. There's
Rob
no doubt.
Ussery, Paul
Yeah.
Carr looks like a younger Dos Equis, most interesting man kind of
Oh
guy.
yeah, a little bit.
Take that one.
Could be. Oh, take that.
Yeah, we'll go with that. There's some pretty abusive ones which we'll save for ways you don't blow our mind.
Save
But
for the
Paul,
bar later.
drop this and go. We've got a very busy show, but
All
this
right.
is always the highlight.
Yeah.
Is this thing on?
Yeah.
All right. So far at this World Cup, we played
Yeah.
40 games.
Yeah.
24 goals have been scored by substitutes.
Yeah.
Guys coming off the bench, including
Wait a
James
minute.
Rodriguez
40
today.
games of 64. That is
Yes.
20 seconds. That is 10/16. That is 5/8 of the way through the World Cup, ladies and gentlemen.
My God, it's like you're channeling Nate Silver here. I've never heard you so numerate in my life,
I was
David.
just reducing fractions.
Wow. So 24 substitute goals already. That's
Yeah.
already a record for any entire World Cup.
So, what you're saying is that with 24 goals by substitutes, only 5/8 of the way through the World Cup, we already have more goals scored by substitutes than even in any tournament when we were 8/8 of the way
Correct.
through the World Cup.
2006 had 23, 8/8 of the way through.
And even
Wow.
more staggering,
Yeah.
Julian Green has not yet taken the field.
And scored a goal. Yeah.
The number's clearly going to skyrocket.
And even more staggering, Luis Suarez bit someone during a football match today, Roger. Luis Suarez
Again.
bit someone again for the third time.
It is amazing.
Sorry.
And that is probably more amazing, even on this day, than even Paul Carr's statistics.
That was a good statistic,
So
though.
back
We
to
like
the
that.
show.
7.5 out of 10.
Thank you.
That's
Take
very
it.
good.
Last-
That's 15 out of
last
20.
message to the
I'm now
world.
going up.
All right. What's that?
Last message.
Last message to the world.
What do you believe should happen to
Luis
Luis
Suarez.
You have to ban him for the rest of the tournament at the very least.
A 10-teeth ban.
Yes.
Yeah, Craig Burley had a great idea. Craig Burley we were just going to bring him into the World Cup Tonight green room, and we were going to tie him down, and Craig Burley was just going to extract his teeth with a plier.
Oh.
I like that idea.
You have to televise that, clearly.
Yeah, clearly it'd be good.
That's like something from Boys from Brazil. That is darkness. Darkness
right,
in every regard.
okay.
Paul Carr, thank you for blowing our mind.
Yeah,
Come
excellent.
again tomorrow. We're talking about the nipple-on-nipple violence
Yeah.
in that Italy Uruguay game. So we're shocked by the Italians. If I can put the microphone down
Yeah,
now. He's gone.
okay, good.
We're shocked by the lack of a response
Yeah.
from Italy
Yeah.
to the piece. You're asking now, what are FIFA going to do in this regard? I mean, I think they're in a very tough place because I've got to be candid. It was a horrific thing. I find it terribly sad that an athlete as gifted, kissed with talent as Luis Suarez clearly cannot help himself psychologically. And despite literally being at the apex of the pantheon, he is unable to prevent himself from doing the thing that has seen him at his kind of rock bottom.
And the denial, the non-apology. It wasn't really a denial, it was just really a non-apology afterwards.
Not just from him, Davo, but if you look at the responses from his manager, Oscar Tabarez, in response, this is a football World Cup. It's not about morality, cheap morality. He said it's the cynicism of the foreign press who are bringing Luis Suarez down.
Yeah.
To which one journalist apparently in the press conference started clapping.
Yeah.
But also his captain, Lugano, who's played this season in English football, told the English press, look, you can't prove anything to me. Nothing, you didn't see anything out there. If you're talking about biting, you're talking about incidents in the past. Nothing happened today. There's a willful kind of circling of the wagons. There's a willful kind of ill intent to smooth the thing over. And listen, I think it's very important to understand that the football cultures of South America and the football cultures of Europe very, very different. The football cultures of the United States different again.
Yeah.
And there's like a Gara, the culture of kind of Gara, Charu, the tenacity of the Uruguayan player is what makes them able to compete on the world stage. And many in kind of South America, the Angels with dirty faces, the great Argentinian teams of the 50s and the 60s, winning by all means necessary is often seen as a value. So the world sees these things very, very differently. And I look at that in a neutral fashion, Davo. So what I'm trying to understand is how the Uruguayan coaches, Uruguayan players have kind of circled the wagon around it. To some degree, you do whatever it takes to win. And that was probably, you can make the case in Suarez's definition, that was the apex of doing whatever.
Yeah, but this isn't
takes.
just going to be the British media, Rog, or it's going to be the entire European media. It's going to be the American media. It's going to be everyone. Football is a global business. FIFA, it seems, we're still sort of trying to sort of work our way through the fog here, but it seems that FIFA do have the ability to ban him globally from playing the game. The Sun, not the most regular, not the most reliable news source, perhaps, but is carrying on his back page that they believe that Suarez is going to be banned for 2 years, Rog, globally.
If the teeth fit, you can't quit.
Yeah,
Davo.
no, there will be some kind of a defence. But it was even mooted before when he bit Ivanovic about having a Premier League ban for life, and there were some who advocated that there is no place for that in the game. You just can't allow it. He just can't be allowed to play. I think that this should end up being a serious sanction.
Yeah, which is to some degree absolutely clearly needed. I mean, there's a time to make a massive statement, but at the same time, I've got to be honest.
Yeah,
this is a massive win for Uruguay. Massive win for lovers of Italian outrage.
Yeah,
massive win for headline writers, and also a massive win for. I mean, the sport in America. Bizarrely, I have not seen anything so gleefully discussed across social platforms on SportsCenter.
Yeah, it's going to be on ABC News tonight, like one of the lead stories.
You can make the case, bizarrely, this is the best thing that could ever. I mean, America loves Vampire Diaries, America loves Twilight, America loves True Blood.
Ultimate Fighting.
Yeah, you love these. This is where it overlaps. And, you could say this is kind of bizarre. I mean, we just got a stat from Google Trends. There are 20 times more Google searches globally for Suarez bite than for snake bite, spider bite, tick, fly, dog and mosquito bites combined. I mean, this has got people talking, Davo. American people talking. If he does get to womble onto the field again, who will not be watching that game? It'll be like watching the bearded lady at the carnival.
So we have no idea what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen in FIFA land. Nothing will surprise me now, which happens with this. All I do know, Rog, is that even though I do think he ought to be banned and be out for the rest of the World Cup, I'm kind of looking forward to him playing the next game for Uruguay against Colombia because I kind of want to see what happens. And how the refs call it and how the Colombian players react to him. I am really interested to see. Certainly, this puts even more doubt on his future at Liverpool. There's been a lot of talk that maybe he's going to Barcelona, Rog. This could derail
Barcelona, a team that are so conscious of brand and global
image.
Brand. It's very hard to pay 70-80 million pounds for a player who's coming with the incredible. There was a great word, kind of global scorn. They said on SportsCenter, man, now globally scorned. And wow, what must it feel like to be globally scorned? That must be unbelievable. Barcelona really don't do global scorn. I'll say one sad thing about this. The bite removes an analysis of Italy's performance at this World Cup. Yeah, they never really recovered from the rumble in Manaus, which is bad repercussions for the US team. Every team that's played in Manaus, 0-4 in the immediate game afterwards. Italy never.
And now it's carrying on to the game after that.
So a very odd performance by them. Italy now join England and Spain as kind of traditional Euro powers who have wilted, incredibly lackluster. There'll be
Italy twice in a row, Rog.
Twice in a row. Twice in a row.
Twice in a row. That is like, who would have ever thought? Twice in a row, Italy. We should salute Andrea Pirlo, Rog. Just bring the book over. It's over there. I mean, Andrea Pirlo, farewell from the World Cup. I imagine this is Pirlo's last World Cup, Rog. Farewell. You're an amazing footballer. One of the most interesting men in the history of association football, soccer.
The way you glide around the football pitch, with
Fantastic,
such intelligent,
beautiful. I know you're watching.
It's as if the ball. You never need to break into a run because it's as if you think the ball is going to come to you. It always does. And the way you hit those first touch passes that unlock the defence, it was as if you knew what you were going to do before the ball even found you.
Yeah.
And to do it with such suaveness.
Yeah.
And
Panache.
to do it with hair. That's a hair.
Yeah.
Hair. And to do it while being a vintner for a hobby, to have a vineyard, you are every ounce the man. I'll put it in the eye. I won't say we. I'll just say that I am not.
Yeah, so interesting. And Prandelli, Cesar Prandelli, a really fantastic coach and a true gentleman. Buffon. Farewell. I mean, saying farewell to some of these Italian players is very, very hard.
Today, David.
We did lose some friends.
I'm a bit worried about the Italian national anthem. Without Gigi Buffon, it may be a little bit like a tree falling in an empty forest. Yeah. We salute you. Off you go, wilting Italy. Yeah. And I'll say that one of the sad things about the bite is that it masked an amazing achievement, CONCACAF Thunder achievement. Costa Rica in this group.
Win the group.
England, Italy, Uruguay, all World Cup winners. Costa Rica just making up the numbers like third cousins of the bar mitzvah. They should just be psyched.
7 points out of that group. It's amazing. 7 points out of that group. Really phenomenal work.
An amazing achievement of collective team football and really squad will.
Okay, so let me get the positive out of the way with England right away, Rog. The positive is...
Hang on, before we get to the positive, just say, in our lifetime, we have never watched
England play a meaningless game of football.
Ever.
We have seen it in qualifying, Rog. Remember when England had to go to Cyprus and play a meaningless game in qualifying?
In tournament play,
we've never
England
ever seen
go through the charade of just playing out a game that meant nothing because they were out of the tournament already.
Yeah.
It was like, for me, watching Winterfell get put to the torch one more time. I found it soul-crushing. To want to watch Italy and Uruguay because it meant something, and the English game was meaningless.
Yeah,
come on.
I'll give you the the positive is we got a point against Costa Rica. Now, of course, it was a no-win game. If they won it, it would be a meaningless victory because the pressure's off. If they lost it, you lost it. A draw is just as meaningless as anything. England did have the majority of the possession. England did have the better chances. They had a penalty shout that they should have got. It was pretty clear. Sturridge missed some sitters. Goals that you don't see him miss very often.
Like I said to you, when we saw it, I said, the little teams, England, don't get those kind of penalty calls. They don't get those kind of calls. Big teams, Costa Rica, CONCACAF Thunder.
You never get it. One player looked out. Actually, I'd say 1.5 players looked outstanding for England. Luke Shaw looked outstanding, Rog. Very fast. He looks like he's a keeper in the England team. Ben Foster had a fantastic game. Made a really pretty phenomenal save.
Mostly because he was not Joe Hart. And we had a great email from John Goodwin, a lovely bloke. He said, the 3 Lions coming away winless in Brazil is a bit sad. But what's even more devastating is knowing Joe Hart won't have the opportunity to grace us with next day tabloid photos featuring shirtless, champagne chugging Joe Boy in a Belo Horizonte nightclub.
Okay, Rod, so we're going to fix England. We promised to fix England.
Yeah, we're going to fix them.
Okay, fix them.
We fix things.
How are we going to fix them? Shall I throw out the first?
Yeah, and by the way, can I just say, if you listened to our pod last night, when we talked about England, we were a bit raw, apparently. Nice tweet from the wing-back that you should read.
Oh, yeah, the heated discussion about England was like your mum and dad arguing about adult things while sitting at the dinner table. I mean, look, we sometimes argue about England, we sometimes argue about our things, but we left, we had a fantastic drink, Rog. We've never been closer.
One of us was right.
Yeah.
We left and one of us was...
One of us is simple, and one of us is very complex. A very complex man with very strange...
I don't feel it anymore. I'm numb to it.
But you do. You feel it so much, Rog. You are so...
Thursday, will you hurry up? Thursday,
you are
come on!
Complex.
Your
citizenship, even the fact that you're going to become an American citizen if they qualify out of the group, that by itself is a non-American. It's such a non-American thing to say.
Crap at bureaucracy.
I know, but that means that if you don't become American, if they don't qualify out of the group, that's just like it's so.
America might not want me.
Anyway.
Come on. Fix England.
No, America want you, definitely. We
need a sting for this segment. Davo fixes England.
No, we're both fixing England. We promised we're both going to fix England.
I have a way to fix England. Go on.
First of all, we fix England is exactly what you said yesterday, Rog. We got to throw out pretty much everyone out of the Football Association. Give up this Team England thing. Give up the picturesque training ground with the best images and thing. Just start worrying about one thing, developing a national identity for the way we play football. Let's not try and be Spain. Let's not try and be Germany. Let's not try and be anybody else.
We want to be Costa Rica.
We want to be Costa Rica. Let's be Costa Rica. That's our national identity.
Yep.
Yes, that's number one. Rich.
Number 2.
Yes. It's your turn now.
Get rid of Roy Hodgson.
Yeah.
I love Roy Hodgson.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds me of my dad. He's a nice man. Roy Hodgson and my dad, Judge Ivor Bennett, are the last 2 decent men left in England.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
They say to passers-by.
That's your number 2. Okay, number 3.
No.
Okay, go. Keep on going. Keep on going on number 2.
No, you come back with the mouth. I'll split mine into 2. Get rid of bloody Roy Hodgson.
Okay, number 3.
I can't stand watching him on the sideline as England just leak goals. And he looks at them like I look at a passing bus that I've only just missed.
3. England has been a foundry for great centre-backs. It's a position that we've made great centre-backs for years. Perhaps not the greatest centre-backs in the world, but world-leading centre-backs. We need to get back to the foundry. We've got to look at your boy at Everton, John Stones. We've got to look at those young guys. Love this kid, Eric Dyer, who plays at Sporting Lisbon.
Love him.
We've used to be at Everton, Rog. We've got to get these ball-playing centre-backs. The teams who are really good at these World Cup, they don't have centre-backs who are just heading the ball or just like putting the boot in. They are ball-playing. They are footballers. We can create those in England.
The teams that are doing well don't even really have full-backs. Every team that's doing well has poor full-backs.
I think, though, over the course of the tournament, as the tournament goes on, Rog, as the games get tight, we're starting to see more goals from set pieces. I think that fullbacks are the centre-backs are going to be very important. 4.
Hire Miguel Herrera.
Yes.
Yes. Bring the passion. Bring the thunder.
Yes.
Bring a man who'll just celebrate by bar fighting his own players. That is the kind of passion that we need to put front and centre in this England team.
Yeah.
Change his name. Michael. What would his name be?
Michael Heron.
Michael Heron.
Michael Heron. Hello, Michael Heron here.
I may look like a famous Mexican coach, but I'm a very different.
I love it when it's wet. I also love it when it's dry.
I'm an amphibious Mexican.
Yeah.
Go on. Last one.
Number 5. Never, ever allow Chris Smalling or Tom Cleverley to play for England ever again. Cleverley didn't even come to the World Cup, but I still feel the scar of Cleverley having been there. The future is about Walcott, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Sterling, Shaw, the boy Ross Barkley, bringing up Stones, bringing up Flanagan. That's the future is about these kids. Sturridge, even though he didn't have a great
English
game.
pride. We kept CONCACAF Thunder at bay. Ended goalless. I found it devastating.
That was a good result for England, Rog. The best result
30 minutes till you're on World Cup tonight.
for a long time.
David, we're going to conclude today's show. We're going to tape previews for the US game. We're actually off tomorrow. They're going to let us
having a day off.
They're going to let us do stuff.
Unbelievable.
Not going to know what to do with myself. I'm just going to come here and still broadcast.
We're thinking about having a couples massage.
Yeah, probably. You know those 4 hands, 2 bodies things. Is that what they call that? Sounds a bit.
I think so.
A bit macabre.
Yeah.
But we'll do something nice. If anyone's got any suggestions on what we can do when we're liberated
in Rio,
I don't know what it's going to feel to feel sun.
Yeah, it's going to be
on
amazing.
Our face, to see daylight. It's going to be to see our families again. We're going to finish
we're not
in a
see
minute
our families.
with the
our families aren't here, Rog.
When my sons go off to camp tomorrow.
I know, for 7 weeks. It's very sad.
We're going to do something equally as sad. We're going to lower for the last time as the sun sets further. We think the English Empire is already cloaked in dark. Before we go, I've got one issue that we need to raise.
I wasn't leaving. I was going to go and get the flag.
That's going to be our last scene. It's going to be our last scene, like the helicopter leaving the American embassy.
I'm sorry, I made another mistake. I'm sorry.
We've had a lot of conversation about Thursday's game. A lot of conversation. We cannot come quick enough. The ticking minutes until Recife. No sleep till Recife. Not a lot of news coming out of the camp. Not a lot of news at all. I mean, Jurgen is really doing an incredibly wonderful job of leading the media.
Altidor's not playing.
Yeah, we know that, but he's decided to use Germany have had one more day to rest, to throw almost the news cycle into something that's not about his team, their readiness, their ability to not just physically but mentally rebound. He's got this whole conversation going between Germany and FIFA about whether it's fair that what he's done is take his players and their ability to compete out of the news cycle, which is a very, very clever thing to do. We're going to record a preview. We'll record a series of pieces of content. We're going to be very, very active on the day. It's a day which almost our whole footballing lives have led up to. We know that you feel it too. But part of that conversation is about our lucky socks and our lucky tie and whether they should be retired, David.
Yeah, we got to think about that.
We got a great tweet. A number of you have all had the same idea, actually, that I should go with my lucky socks, but make sure that the high priest, Mike Tirico, the high priest of our new religion, Tiricoism, actually blesses the socks before I put them on.
I think that's a good point.
What do you think about that one?
I think that's good.
We also had this idea.
Yeah. Skip the socks and go Crockett and Tubbs.
At Coach Mike Picks, that was a ghastly idea, sir. We don't do Crockett and Tubbs. We're all Zito and Switek on this show. Oh my God. Well, one of us goes Crockett and Tubbs. One of us not.
Can
so
barely
much.
get my leg up there anymore.
Dave,
yeah.
Do you have anything to say?
No, not really.
Before we wrap up?
I'm feeling very good about the US.
Yeah.
For Thursday, feeling very, very good about it.
Yeah.
I feel like Germany are going to be watching all these huge European teams go out. I think they're going to be somewhat afraid.
Yeah.
Not that Germany, Germany could even, a tie will be enough that would take them through as well. But I think the US, I sort of have this feeling that the US are going to get something out of this game. I really, really have the feeling this time about it. I think they're going to be very good.
I hope you are right.
I don't understand the Manaus factor. This is the thing that's freaking me out. How physically spent are they going to be? I know Roberto Martinez not worried about it at all. He thinks that they are the fittest team here at the World Cup.
He said they are the fittest team he has seen at this World Cup.
And if that means that we only have to worry about them mentally, I never worry about this team mentally. I never worry about that. Little worried about the mistakes we made in defence, but I sort of feel like we've had our quota. I don't think we're going to concede another last-minute goal. I don't think we're going to concede another goal in the first 5 minutes.
Well, here's the issue for me.
The only thing we haven't done is we haven't conceded a goal in Ivor Bennett time in the final minute before half-time.
Don't do that. Don't even mention it.
It's the only thing we haven't done.
The two things that are critical, I do worry about the mental side. Jurgen is a great motivator. None of these kids have been in a tournament where you have to rebound mentally from a devastating loss. It's very hard to do. He'll be working, Jurgen, to accentuate the positive. Look what you have achieved. 4 points. You're undefeated. But whether they feel that, it's almost like having a beautiful gift ripped out from your hands. Whether he's able to do that, his two big keys, always his big two keys are concentration, the whole 90 minutes, and a belief when you in an American jersey step on a field against a team as mighty as Germany, whether you wilt in that. Think about that step out of the locker room, the two lines of 11 players with the tiny little kind of Oompa-Loompa children either side. Do they feel that they're about to go onto a field with a team and a game plan, or do they feel, my God, over there is Philip Lahm, my God, over there is Thomas Muller? Particularly the Germans, who know they weren't good enough to play for the German team, the German Americans. What do they feel? Does it inspire them, their competitive nature, to step up or not? But most importantly, as an 11, do they take that field and believe that, yes, they, the United States, have an ability and a belief and a right to beat Germany? I believe they do, Davo. And I think it's what is most devastating retrospectively about the last game as fans is that we suddenly realise that we deserve to win a game against Portugal. We, the United States, deserve to win that game. It's a kind of a new era, a new echelon. Yes, we beat Portugal in 2002, but that was an incredible shock. This was a time when we expected and felt that we deserved to leave Portugal. It's a new era. Can those 11 do it? We will see, Davo. Yeah. We're going to retire the English flag from our studio.
Yeah, how are we going to do that? Are we just going to gradually... Are we going to start it up here?
Yeah.
And just gradually out of shot, and it's just going to do... Oh,
yeah.
We might just have lost the show.
I don't know if we have
the entire audio board just crashed over the thing.
Oh, and with it goes my ability to read the poem I wanted to read, which was "Going, Going, Gone" by Philip Larkin, which has the lines, and that will be England gone, the shadows, the meadows, the lanes, the guild halls, the carved choirs. There'll be books. It will linger on in galleries, but all that remains for us will be concrete and tyres.
I thought you were going to say CONCACAF and tyres, which would have been a good ending to that poem. Check around everything on ESPNFC.com. at Roger Bennett, at MC Davies, at Men in Blazers, Men in Blazers on Instagram. Email us, meninblazers@gmail.com. Send your Ravens or Toucans to the crap part of her name is Rio. ESPN Wando, we got to mention him, our producer. All the content around ESPN FC. They've had a huge day on ESPN FC with all of the Suarez stuff. And we will we'll have previews up tomorrow for Ecuador, France. We'll have
big one, El Grande.
The huge preview for US versus Germany.
Victory.
And we'll be back on the boot room and on World Cup tonight.
With no England cupcakes ever again.
On Thursday. I've got a bunch to take home, Rog. See you later. War Pig.